I'm making another album, and since last time, I haven't done what I wanted to do. It's been a struggle to find that slipstream of motivation and progress that I found towards the end of the 100 Splurge Challenge. In fact, in general, this album seems to be a little bit more tricky, because if I reflect on the 100 Splurge Challenge, it took me doing something crazy, like, what was it? I decided to do 47 splurges in one day and ended up doing 53, to kind of get me over the line even on the 100 Splurge Challenge. And there are probably a few reasons for this. Number one, I already proved to myself that I could complete a half-decent album in 3 months. I overcame the long-standing dragon of not singing. And, in my album episode last week, I obviously was talking about how this other dragon of not using auto-tune and facing the my sort of regret and shame of my lost decade might kind of give me motivation. But reflecting on it probably doesn't sound too motivating, does it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to face my shame and regret. That'll motivate me. When you think about it, it's probably not all that motivating. But anyway, the point here is that I'm not even sure that the problem is any of those things. It could well be something as simple as, or what could be going into it, something as simple as, I don't know if you can hear in the background, the buzzsaw sound. You might not be able to, I might be able to cut it out using the wonders of modern technology. But essentially, the building work is coming to an end here, and it's kind of, we've got painters in the house, and brickies are breaking up walls, and there's like hundreds of people everywhere all the time at the moment around here, and it's just kind of been chaos for a while, just for the last few weeks. And I think that's playing into it as well. It's just, there's a lot. It's just a lot. And so I think that's also having an impact. So what I decided to do, because I'm not, I really like everything that I said last week about wanting to not use auto-tune and write songs and just really focus on the song and all that kind of stuff. That is all absolutely true. It remains true. And it's not that I've not done nothing. I've done a piece of music every day. Yeah, every single day. But I haven't done, I think I've done a couple of Discover sessions. I did one Discover session yesterday. Did I do one Discover? Yeah, it just feels like I'm not focused on it. I'm not sort of into it. It's like an afterthought, which is fine. I can do that. But it's like, if I compare it to how I felt about the last album, or how I was, maybe how I felt about the last album wasn't necessary. Maybe it can just be an afterthought, but it would be nice to kind of really get into it. And I don't feel into it. I just feel like it's like this thing that's happening at the side. So what I decided to do was really hit go on this thing that I have been playing around with for a couple of years, called the Focus42. And I won't go into the full thing, but it's like a kind of challenge that you can do with yourself that I've been developing. It's somewhat inspired by, I don't know if you've heard of the thing called 75 Hard. It's a little bit inspired by that, but it's not quite as arbitrary as that, or kind of, so 75 Hard is this thing where you have to do like 2 workouts a day and read 10 pages of a non-fiction book and drink a gallon of water. And it's great, but the thing, I mean, it's kind of a mental challenge, but it's great. But the thing is, none of those things are tailored to the individual. It's kind of arbitrary. Like one of the workouts, for instance, has to be outside. And it's like, well, yes, all right, it's not really about the things that you're doing. It's a mental challenge. But I was like, well, what would my version of something like that be? So I've been playing around with creating this container, this blank container into which you can create your own challenge. And so I decided to hit go on that this weekend and use ChatGPT as like a coach and when I say weekend, my weekend is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So in my days off, I decided to use ChatGPT as a coach and to sort of really help me kind of design what this thing is going to look like. And I started doing it today. Now I haven't, and like within this Focus42 thing are included actions which are kind of business actions. So I want to focus on making music. I want to focus on recording podcasts. I want to focus on writing. Those are the things that I'm focusing on in this challenge that I'm doing. And I haven't yet made the music, but having said that, today, I haven't yet made the music today, but this afternoon, I've got a couple of 42-minute sessions planned to do music. And I feel very focused on doing that and motivated to do it because of this protocol, because of this challenge that I've set for myself. So I'm feeling pretty positive about the whole thing. Again, as I said, it's not like I've not been doing anything. So things are improving. But what it is that I don't feel as focused on it as I think, anyway, I did last time. Having said that, it could well be that I'm completely misremembering it and I had exactly the same situation at this point in the last album as well. In fact, that probably is the case. But I think there is an element here of fear, probably, because the last time, maybe in the back of my mind, I had this idea that, well, if the worst comes to the worst, I can use autotune. Whereas this time, I've made a commitment to you and to myself that I'm not going to. So I'm kind of feeling like I really, really need to get on with this thing because, I predict there's going to be a lot of, who knows, maybe I'm setting myself up for failure here by saying this, but I predict there could but well be a fair amount of having to re-record things and what have you. But so now is the time to get on with it. I haven't run out of time. I am, it's not like I've got a deadline next week or anything. So I have got time to pick up the pace. I'm looking forward to doing the 42-minute sessions will probably be split into working on 2 different Discover tracks. So that means I'll be working on 4 Discover tracks today. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm feeling like up for it. I'm feeling ready to go. So that's me for now. I will, but this time next week when I record the album podcast, I will have done a whole week of this Focus42 challenge, which lasts for 42 days, so 6 weeks. So I'll have more info on how that's going. So until then, I'd better stop talking about making an album and start making one.